And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're in Cheviot, right on Harrison Avenue. They're in the Dora District, so you can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out with our good friends at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports, like Tuesday night against Texas Tech, will always be on the video wall. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, and not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they do so in 32.8 degree beer frosted glasses. So go get you a Cincy Light. Watch the Bearcats at Hail Mary's. Hi, Aaron.
Get you some.
I could use a Cincy Light tonight, but I got to get up and do 360 tomorrow, Cincy 360 tomorrow on ESPN 1530. So I got to behave myself tonight.
Love about 6, but no one around here has them. So hooray.
I could use at least 6, but it is what it is. Let's get going. It is week 3, the end of week 3 in the Big 12 schedule. 3 of 10 in the books.
Feels like it's been
everybody's
played.
Yeah. Feels like it's been that many. Everybody has played 6 games. Everybody has 14 left to go. And the conference is starting to devour itself a little bit, as we will get to in this here very show. So let's get it moving. The biggest news of the weekend, West Virginia at home takes down Iowa State 64-57. The fans rush the floor. Javon Small does Javon Small things once again. And Iowa State, who was without Momcilovic, did not get their typical level of outstanding guard play, finally got. And West Virginia, with that, as big a resume win as you can get, as big of a resume win as you can get, taking down Iowa State.
Yeah, it looks like Javon Small also did things defensively. I assume he was on Lipsy, and Lipsy only had 6 points, only had 1 assist, had 3 fouls, had 3 rebounds, 3 of 8 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. Not great for Lipsy.
You're burying the lead, though.
Well, as far as Javon Small going off for 27.
No. Iowa State going 1 for 17 from 3, 5.7%. That's not going to win many like that in college basketball in 2025.
No. I would have been outside of my mind. But at least they only shot 17. It would have been worse had they chucked up another 10.
Yeah. But that is such a, the way Curtis Jones has shot it and Gilbert has shot it, Jefferson has shot it, like that is that's a killer for them. Jones made their only 3. He was 1 for 6. Lipsy, Gilbert, and Jefferson all each 0 for 3. They got virtually nothing from their bench, only 6 points. Deshaun Jackson only scored 4. Lipsy scored 6. It was just a rough night or afternoon, if you will, for Iowa State. But kudos to West Virginia, man. They've got a little bit of a topsy-turvy to them, but when they get a scalp, they get a scalp.
Listen, I saw a tweet the other day that they might have the best 4 wins out of anybody in college basketball.
Yeah.
So I said it earlier. I said maybe we're off of them being top 5 in this league. I think we're back to them being top 5 in this league.
I don't think so, because I think, especially with DeVries out, they are still going to have these like scratch your head nights where if Javon Small's not great, they're in big trouble. But then they're going to have these nights. I mean, right now he's trending to maybe be the conference player of the year. It feels like we're talking about him having more than 25 like every other night.
Which is, again, I don't know that we expected him to do that when he went to West Virginia, but it's been obviously quite the pleasant surprise for West Virginia, and they've put together quite a run this season.
I mean, just in his last 5 games, 27, 13, 26, 17, 24.
Pretty good.
And he had a bad night against Houston. Like, he also had 27, another 27, 26 against Georgetown, 26 against Louisville, 31 against Gonzaga. Like, he is balling.
I mean, he's
right
averaging
now.
he's averaging 19.8, so he's almost averaging that 20 that you're talking about. Meanwhile, here in Cincinnati, no one's sniffing 20.
Right. I mean, and in their home games, he's averaging 20.6 in their home games.
It's crazy.
Kansas, a little sluggish, but they managed to hold on against Kansas State. Obviously, a rivalry game. The compiler, Hunter Dickinson, with 25 and 8. Kansas wins 84-74. They are 4-2 in league play. Kansas State drops to 1-5. Sure hate to be the only team that Kansas State beat in league play.
Weird. Couldn't be me.
Right.
Zeke Mayo's putting together a nice little season, though. He scores 24 in this one. That's coming off of a 17-point performance against Arizona State. He had 23. He only put up 9 against Cincinnati, though. But there's another one where he's starting to light the scoreboard up as well.
Yeah. And you might be able to argue he's right there with Dickinson as their best player. And he was like the lowest profile. I mean, the reason he's there is he's from Lawrence, Kansas. And he was off at a small school and was playing really well. So they were like, come on home, buddy. And that's been, of all the money they spent to shore up their roster, the biggest addition by far this past offseason has been Zeke Mayo.
Yeah, he was at South Dakota State.
Yeah.
Before going to Kansas. But yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's 7-13, 4 of 7 from the arc. Nice little day for him.
Yep. Keeping it moving. UCF got up comfortably early.
What a crazy
Houston
ending.
walks them down in the second half. Crazy ending. All kinds of strange shit happening in the final 10 seconds of that game. But Houston, go ahead.
Everyone who was watching that game that was trying to watch the Cincinnati, everyone who was trying to watch the Cincinnati game at home had to watch the ending of that game.
Yeah.
And the 8.2 seconds took like 15 minutes. It was absolute insanity how long
a ball hit the scoreboard, and then there was a turnover with like a second left, like
an offensive foul by the oldest player in the league. It was just
DeJuan Roberts.
It seemed like everybody had 4 timeouts during that span. It was crazy, including the refs who had to review like everything.
Yeah, that's why those timeouts feel so ridiculous, because everybody has their timeouts, and you get 14 stoppages of play by the officials to look at everything. Takes the flow out of games. But
wild.
Houston stays perfect, 6-0 in the league. UCF's 12-5, 3-3 in the league, but they're playing really well. Like, you got to give Johnny Dawkins' squad some credit. They're hooping, and they probably should have won that game, but Houston did Houston things, and UCF did UCF things.
Yeah, Keyshawn Hall actually had a chance to put that game away, and he's, I believe, their best free throw shooter. He is shooting 87.7% this season, and he missed 2 in that final minute of play that could have potentially put Houston down. And he choked after that 40-point performance. He only has 6, 2 of 12 from the field, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line, 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Not a great day for Hall coming off that monster performance.
Yeah, they almost got it done, but alas, Houston remains the lone undefeated. Why? because Texas Tech at home controls Arizona 70-54. Jacob Toppin with 20 and 16. And Texas Tech moves to 4-2. Big one for the Bearcats on Tuesday night because Texas Tech is playing well.
Yeah,
very
JT
well.
JT Toppin's really good. He's really good.
Did I
Maybe
say
newcomer.
Jacob? I meant
You did,
JT.
JT. He might get newcomer of the year.
He's definitely can Javon Small get newcomer of the year? No,
I don't know. Not if you go from team to team. You're not a newcomer. You just
he's
went
a
team
newcomer to
team.
West Virginia.
Well, he's not a newcomer to the league.
He's a newcomer to West Virginia. He's West Virginia's newcomer of the year.
Well, then they can give him that accolade when they have their annual gala.
Yeah. Texas Tech offensively, they are outstanding. We will get into that a little bit more tomorrow night. But they get 14 from Chance McMillan, who's been playing really well, 10 from Christian Anderson, and they weren't great offensively, really. 36% from the floor, 26% from three, but 16 of 18 from the free throw line. And they made 6 threes to Arizona's 3. And that when you look at the stats for this game, I guess the big difference, 50-34 on the glass, Aaron.
Well, I'm also
Texas Tech just whipped Arizona on the glass.
I'm also looking at who scored for Arizona, and the leading scorer was Bryant.
Jaden Bradley had 11 and Carter Bryant had 10.
Sorry. Yeah, I had that. Anyway, and Caleb Love only has 9 in that one. So yeah, when you have the guys who normally go off are all in single digits, outside of
all
Bradley
with terrible shooting percentage.
Yeah, Caleb Love going 3 of 13. That's
5 from 3.
Yep.
Look, that's always been the rub on Caleb Love. He can shoot you to victory, and he can shoot you to loss. And he shot him to loss on the road, which for the Bearcats, always a good, you like to catch team coming off a big win as opposed to catching them coming off of a soul-crushing loss. So the interesting thing for me, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, Aaron, yesterday, actually. I said those Texas teams, yes, it's going to be in an indoor arena, but that Texas Tech team is going to get to Cincinnati tonight, and it is going to be 1 degree below zero, and they will not want to be in Cincinnati tomorrow.
with a wind chill of -10 to 15.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
They're not going to be excited about their trip to the Queen City.
Nah.
We'll get into that more tomorrow night on the BBP, where Brent is not going to join us because it's the Monday of a national championship game, and of course he's not.
He found a trump card, no pun intended.
He claims he's not going to the inauguration.
He's not doing that. That wasn't the joke I was trying to make.
He's going to the national championship game, allegedly. We'll discuss more tomorrow night. We'll get Royer's thoughts on whether or not Brent is at the national championship game.
Oh, there's not a doubt in my mind he'll be at the game.
Yeah.
It's just the
circumstances. Yeah. Oklahoma State 83-73 over Colorado. Colorado remains winless in the Big 12. Bang got Dak with 15, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block.
Only one block.
He was really only it. He was the only guy that got it going for Colorado. Oklahoma State says, look, we are not the worst team in the Big 12. Colorado is the worst team in the Big 12. We're going to prove it by getting a double-digit win.
Yeah, Oklahoma State football couldn't win a game in conference. Basketball has won 2, so they're doing all right.
Yeah. Overtime, Aaron, Holy War. This one's a little surprising to me. The hype train for BYU has stalled as Utah 73-72. Asor for Utah with 26. He's been playing very well lately, and he leads the Utes to a victory in the Holy War.
Well, that's because Trevin Nell stalled out as well. He goes 2 of 6, 2 of 5 behind the arc for his whopping 6 points in this one. You're going to start. You got to score, bud.
Yeah. Richie Saunders with 15 for BYU. 16 for BYU, sorry. And then Traore, I'm not going to try to say Husseini Traore with 16 as well, but not enough. Gabe Madsen with 8. Mason Madsen did not score. He was back, though. He played 5 minutes. Big win for Utah.
Yeah. They're not the worst team.
It's great analysis, Aaron.
We expected.
Yep. They're not the worst team.
I don't know. We expected. You expected them to be bad. They're right in the middle of the pack right now, sitting at 3-3, and you get a win over a rival like BYU and the season that people kind of expected BYU to have. Maybe that's something that you can catapult yourself ahead with, and we'll see what it does for
they are the quintessential 3-3 team in this league, right? They've lost to Baylor, Texas Tech, and Iowa State. Of course they did. They've beaten Oklahoma State, TCU, and BYU, who are all currently near the bottom of the standings. So they're not as good as any of the best teams. They're not as bad as any of the worst teams. Right in the middle.
Not the worst.
Which will be interesting because the Bearcats head to the lovely state of Utah for a doubleheader next week.
Ugh.
10 p.m. Saturday, 10 p.m. Tuesday. You're going to tell your kids, look, y'all going to have to chill tomorrow morning. Daddy got to work.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
They don't really respond.
They don't care. And then finally, to just make sure that the weekend was off the rails completely, Baylor at home against TCU. TCU with a 3 at the buzzer. Well, not at the buzzer. TCU with the 3 with about 7 seconds left. Baylor comes down and gets a look, but it gets blocked from 3 at the horn. And TCU with look, West Virginia beating Iowa State is a surprise just because Iowa State was playing so well. But West Virginia, again, had 3 other elite wins. Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas. There's some reason, some logic to West Virginia beating Iowa State. There is no logic at all for TCU knocking off Baylor like that. And Baylor, their resume ain't great right now. They're kind of in that middle ground of if they don't get it together or if they hover around 500 and end up with, 8 or 9 conference wins, they might get left out.
Well, yeah, you've lost now to they kind of spun out a little bit. You lost to TCU. You lost to Arizona earlier this week. Not a good week to be a Baylor Bear. And
it's almost like, Aaron, sometimes you have a bad week. You're not playing your best basketball. And you look, you're 0-2. And now you got to figure shit out because you're not playing like you thought you're supposed to.
Well, your wins right now are over Arizona State, Cincinnati, and who else? Utah.
Yeah.
What's that resume do
3.
for you?
Right.
Not great.
And in the non-con, they played a bunch. They beat St. John's. I guess that one will stick out. They lost to Gonzaga. They beat Arkansas. Arkansas stinks. Arkansas is dreadful. And they lost to UConn. So really their big wins are St. John's and Arkansas, who were ranked at the time, but Arkansas is 0-6 in the SEC. 0-5, 0-6 in the SEC. So Coach Cal's move to Pig Suey land, not going great. Not going great.
Pig stinky.
Pig stanky. Stanky. So there you go. That wraps it up for week 3.
Well, here's the standings, if you will. If you're a visual person, I know we've talked about some of that as far as where teams are. But you got Houston leading the way at 6-0, Iowa State, Arizona at 5-1, Kansas, Texas Tech, West Virginia there at 4-2, UCF, Baylor, Utah, TCU at 3-3, Cincinnati, BYU, Oklahoma State at 2-4, Arizona State, Kansas State at 1-5, and Colorado bringing up the rear, defeated 0-6.
Lost 4, lost 5, lost 6, lost 2. Welcome to the Big 12. All right. We will see you on a Brentless BBP tomorrow night. That's the Nightcap. Live from the Cincy Light Studios, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!